Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. My name is Ron Tyler. I want to welcome you here. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome everybody to our show this afternoon. I was going to be on the air about an hour and a half ago, but a lot of things came up and I got busy, and now I have a complete show for you. Folks, the first thing I'm going to talk about this afternoon is the shooting that happened at the Trump International Golf Course in West Palm Beach, Florida, yesterday afternoon. Just after 1:30 yesterday afternoon, a shooter opened up fire on President Trump. The shooter was in a bunch of bushes just outside the golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. You notice in this photograph here, there are two backpacks and one AK-47 on the outside of the fence. The backpacks were loaded with ceramic tile. Ceramic tile is often used to prevent gunshots from penetrating a body. The ceramic tile are usually about 6 to 8 inches tall and about 8 inches wide, like this. They go over the police officer's body in a bulletproof vest. They go over the police officer's body in a bulletproof vest like this. These backpacks were loaded with ceramic tile. Both of them were on either side of where the shooter was. That way, I believe the shooter would have wanted to protect himself by using the ceramic tile as bulletproof vests, trying to protect the shooter on either side of him. So he was going to be protected. He got off 2 shots. The Secret Service already had him in their sights, and they also returned fire. The Secret Service was not able to hit the shooter. The shooter took off. The shooter took off and was later captured, stopped by the police just down the road from the golf course, just like this. There was a bulletin put out by an APB, an all points bulletin put out by the West Palm Beach Police and the local sheriff's office here. They used cameras on the overpasses and on the highway. I believe it's Highway 1 going through there in Florida, and they pulled him over. They pulled him over in a hot stop. You can see a gray police vehicle at the far left middle part of your screen there. That is a police vehicle. The man that they had stopped was in a Nissan Pathfinder. The man that they had stopped was in a Nissan Pathfinder. Now, the man that they stopped was named Ryan Wesley Routh. Ryan Wesley Routh. Okay? This is a picture of the Trump International Golf Course where he was at. Okay? Now, Routh is identified as a shooter right here. Okay? Now, I'm going to talk about this shooter in somewhat depth. I want you to understand who he was and possibly why he may have done what he did. Okay? Now, I'm going to condemn him for doing what he did. Okay? I'm definitely going to condemn him for what he did. Again, the suspect has been identified as Ryan Wesley Routh, age 58. He was charged this morning with 2 counts of firearms offenses in federal court in West Palm Beach, Florida. Routh has had previous encounters with law enforcement, according to court documents. Officials have said there's no motive that has been yet determined why he did what he did. Now, officials say he had a rifle, the AK-47 I showed you. He also had those 2 backpacks arranged on the fence line to help protect himself. He also had a GoPro camera that he had on the fence that was going to record him shooting. Sheriff Bradshaw from the Palm Beach County Police Department Sheriff's Office received a call from the U.S. Secret Service at approximately 1:30 p.m. yesterday afternoon that shots had been fired. Units immediately moved to seal off the area, and Bradshaw said a witness saw a man jumping out of the bushes and fleeing in a black Nissan Pathfinder. The witness took a photo of the license plate number, and the car was spotted traveling north on I-95 toward Martin County, about 50 miles away, where the driver was pulled over and detained. Bradshaw said that the witness then identified the individual as a man seen in the bushes. Ryan Wesley Routh was seen at the time of his arrest on September 15th, yesterday, in a photo obtained from the Martin County Sheriff's Office in Florida. Law enforcement found the AK-47 style rifle, a scope, 2 backpacks with ceramic tile, and a GoPro camera in the bushes at the scene. Bradshaw said the photos of the weapon in the backpack were displayed at the briefing that I just showed you. I was privy to the briefing yesterday afternoon. Law enforcement officials displayed the photos that show the AK-47, the backpack, and the GoPro camera on the fence. Rafael Barros, a special agent in charge of the Secret Service Miami field office, said in the briefing yesterday afternoon that the agency is not sure yet if the individual was able to take a shot at our agents. It's been later determined that the shot indeed came from Routh. And then the Secret Service agents opened fire on him. Now, I need to tell you this. The Secret Service did have a drone in the air, and they had spotted Routh in the bushes. So they knew exactly where he was, and Secret Service sharpshooters were in the area. Now, they had a good look at him. They had him in their scopes, but they missed. They missed. Now, something that needs also to be said. The FBI, or excuse me, not the FBI, the Secret Service had only gone ahead over two tees on the golf course. They stayed 2 holes ahead of the president. That's normal for the Secret Service to do. They stayed 2 holes ahead of the president to see off that area. Now, if Trump allegedly had been the president of the United States, they said they would have sealed off the entire golf course. Now, I want to say this, okay? During this entire time period since the last shooting 2 months ago, Secret Service has not given President Trump adequate protection. The Secret Service has admittedly not given Trump adequate protection because they said he was not the sitting president. The Biden administration has not allowed Trump to have the protection he's needed. There have been many times that Trump and his detail have asked for additional protection, and that request has been denied. I shouldn't say that request, because there's been numerous requests of Trump being denied protection or adequate protection. This is up to the Secret Service. I'm hoping that from this point forward, that Trump will be given the protection he needs. Surgery68 is here in the chat, one of my best friends. Also, he's saying such BS. I agree. It's absolute BS. Now, Routh did indeed get off 2 shots, and the Secret Service returned fire. In an earlier statement, the Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmi said that the U.S. Secret Service was working with local authorities in the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office on the investigation. Now, Trump today is expected to meet with the acting Secret Service director. Trump is going to meet with the acting Secret Service director. I believe Trump is going to ask for adequate protection. He's asked for adequate protection, and his Secret Service detail has also asked for adequate protection. It should never have happened. What has happened should never have happened. Not now, not ever. Other presidents have gotten their requests for protection, including President Bush and President Clinton and President Obama. But Trump has not gotten adequate protection. Even as a sitting former president, he is a nominee of the Republican Party that is running for election right now. That means he should have gotten his protection that he's deserved, and he has not. Now, the suspect has criticized Trump on social media. Ralph has criticized President Trump on social media. Let me show you the message from Ralph. He said, "While you were my choice in 2016, and the world hoped that Trump would be different and better than the candidate, but we were all greatly disappointed, and it seems you are getting worse and evolving. Are you retarded? I will be glad when you are gone." That was a message that Ralph put out to President Trump. President Trump has since also put out a statement. I will read you that statement in just a minute. The Secret Service and the Sheriff's Office in Palm Beach, Florida, have gone through Ralph's social media profiles, and they've taken them down. His profiles appear to be connected to the suspect. Ralph made no threats in his post, but he did post frequently about politics. He voted Democratic in the 2024 primary election in North Carolina. He lives here in North Carolina. That is according to the State Board of Elections, and he appears to be registered as an unaffiliated voter. His X account, formerly Twitter, has now been suspended, and that account included a number of posts about Trump. I've showed you the picture that I obtained from the Secret Service about the message from Ralph, right there. Okay? He said he will be glad when Trump is gone. Ralph also referenced the July 13th assassination attempt on Trump in multiple posts, suggesting that President Biden and Vice President Harris should have visited the injured and attend the funeral of Mr. Compatore, who was killed as a result of the shooting in Pennsylvania. A Facebook account under the suspect's name was no longer available this morning. Ralph also posted multiple times about the ongoing war in Ukraine. In one post he wrote, quote, "I am willing to go and fight and die to beat Putin." Ralph was interviewed actually by several news organizations, including the New York Times and Semafor, SEMAFOR, in 2023, and Newsweek Romania interviewed him in 2022, talking about trying to recruit volunteers to aid Ukraine in the fight against Russia's invasion, though it wasn't clear whether his efforts were successful. "This is indeed about good versus evil," he told Newsweek Romania. In one post on LinkedIn, he shared a photo of himself in Kiev, Ukraine's capital. The LinkedIn account indicated that Ralph lived in Hawaii and owned what he called Camp Box Honolulu, a shed building company. The account also says he studied in North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University and graduated in 1998. He appears to have spent most of his life in North Carolina, according to property records. Ralph's trouble with the law date back to the 1990s, according to court records. A law enforcement source said that Ralph was charged and convicted of numerous offenses in Guilford County, North Carolina, between 2002 and 2010. In 2002, he was charged with possession of weapons of mass destruction, a felony, according to the North Department of Correction records. In another incident, he was charged with misdemeanors, including a hit-and-run offense and resisting arrest. Now, according to Sean Hannity and several others that spoke with President Trump yesterday, he appears to be in good spirits. President Trump put out this message last night. There were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down, and I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Unity, peace, make America great again. May God bless you, Donald J. Trump. Now, while he put out that message, he also spoke to Sean Hannity, he spoke to J.D. Vance, he spoke to Senator Graham and several others. According to several people that have spoken with the former president, Trump said he was in good spirits last night, and he has recounted multiple times to family members and advisors, and he's praised the Secret Service and thanked them for their response. He's also been joking that he wishes he could finish his round of golf. He was on the 5th hole. He said that he was up for a double birdie, which said to me, and I used to golf myself and I enjoyed the game, and I have clubs that I own that I bought several months ago that I've never used, believe it or not. I haven't shot on a golf course in many years, unfortunately. Haven't played. Anyway, Trump was joking that he wishes he could finish his round of golf. He is determined to keep on campaigning this week. Trump shared a message that I just shared with you in a fundraising email that said he was safe. Again, there were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Most importantly, I want to thank the U.S. Secret Service, Rick Bradshaw from the Sheriff's Office and his Office of Brave and Dedicated Patriots, and all of law enforcement for the incredible job done today at Trump International Golf Course in keeping me as the 45th President of the United States and the Republican nominee in the upcoming presidential election safe. Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, said on social media that he spoke to the former president before the news of the event even made public. He said Trump was in amazingly good spirits, according to his conversation. Still much we don't know, but I'll be hugging my kids extra tight tonight and saying a prayer of gratitude, Vance wrote on X. I'm glad President Trump is safe, and I spoke to him before the news was made public, and he was in amazingly good spirits. The White House said that Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were briefed on the incident Sunday afternoon. Quote, they were relieved to know that Trump is safe. They will be kept regularly updated by their team. President Biden said in a later statement, quote, as I have said many times, there's no place for political violence or any violence ever in our country. And I have directed my team to continue to ensure that the Secret Service has every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure the President's continued safety. I can only hope that Biden follows through with that statement. Every resource, every capability, and protective measure. So far, Biden has not carried through on any statements he's made for Trump. I still don't think he's going to do that. Anyway, in a separate post on X, Harris reiterated, saying, quote, I am glad Trump is safe. Violence has no place in America. I'm deeply disturbed by the possible, she said, the possible assassination attempt of former President Trump. As we gather the facts, I will be clear. I condemn political violence. We all must do our part to ensure that the incident does not lead to more violence. That's pretty much her statement 2 months ago when Trump was shot at before and injured. She said she commends the U.S. Secret Service and law enforcement partners for their vigilance, unquote. Senator Lindsey Graham, a South Carolina Republican and close ally of the former president, He said in a post on X that he had spoken with Trump, who is, in quote, good spirits and is more resolved than ever to save our country, unquote. He is one of the strongest persons I've ever met, Graham said. House Speaker Mike Johnson said on social media that he and his wife just spent a few hours with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and we are thanking God for protecting him today. Senator Minority Leader Mitch McConnell also said, quote, very grateful President Trump is safe after another attempted assassination attempt. There is no place for political violence in our country, and those responsible for it must be held accountable. I hope and expect the U.S. Secret Service and the FBI to conduct a thorough, swift, and transparent investigation, unquote. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who ran against Trump in this year's Republican primaries, said the state in Florida, quote, will be conducting its own investigation into the incident. The people deserve the truth and the would-be assassin and how he was able to get within 500 yards of the president and the current GOP nominee. Now, I've just read to you what Senator Graham and Governor Ron DeSantis said. I am hoping and I am praying and I am urging Governor DeSantis to keep the investigation in Florida, because we know what happened with the FBI. We all know what happened with the FBI. The FBI lies. They cheat. The FBI does not put forth their best efforts. They've proven that. FBI Director Wray, I would urge you also to conduct a separate investigation from Florida. And I expect your investigation to be along the lines of Florida. I expect you to hold this person accountable. Yes, Routh was taken into custody yesterday afternoon. He was charged today with 2 federal firearms offenses. With all the other felonies that he's been charged with, Routh should remain in custody. We all know what the FBI did with the former suspect in the attempt on President Trump's life 2 months ago. They cremated the body within 10 days after the shooting. They made sure there was no evidence at all. They made sure there was no evidence at all. Renee Steffi says she's buffering. That's sad. That's very sad. It's not my computer. Renee, I hope the buffering stops. Right now I'm using only 4.2% of my computer, and I have a very good computer here. Aubrey's saying 5x5 where she's at. I'm glad. Thank you, Aubrey. Appreciate that. Now, I believe this is going to be ongoing, and I have reason to believe that. Okay? I believe that the FBI will not come forward and be truthful about the investigation. Because, why? Because Biden and the Harris administration are in charge of the FBI. I believe they're going to cover it up. I believe DeSantis and the Florida State Bureau of Investigation and the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the police department have charge of the investigation. I believe they will give us the best investigation they possibly can. Okay? I'm hoping that what they give out is the truth. I believe that's going to come. Okay? This incident yesterday comes 2 months after the assassination attempt on former President Trump at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Trump was grazed in the ear. 1 inch on either side of his head, he would not be with us, and we would have been observing 30 days of mourning for a former president. Trump is alive and well. Trump has changed since that shooting. Trump has changed since that shooting. That was very evident the day after the shooting when he was at the Republican National Convention in Wisconsin. He's a very changed man. But the politics continue. The politics continue. One attendee at the July 13th rally, former Fire Chief Corey Compatore, was killed, and 2 others were wounded. One person that was wounded, I believe, still is in the hospital, 2 months after the shooting. This suspect I was identified as Ryan Wesley Routh, age 58. Again, he was charged today with 2 firearms offenses in federal court in West Palm Beach County. Routh has 2 prior encounters with law enforcement, according to documents. Officials have said there is no motive that's been determined right now. That remains to be seen. I believe there's plenty of motive considering the message that the Trump administration has received from the Secret Service and the Palm Beach County Police Department and Sheriff's Office. Now, I have something else I need to talk to you about. Well, 2 things. 2 more things. There is a storm off the North Carolina coast right now. There is a storm off the North Carolina coast right now. Looking out my office window, we are very overcast. We are not seeing dark, gray, or black clouds at this point in time. The blue dot in the middle of this photograph is where I live. Okay? You see TD posted several times on the photograph. This is a tropical depression. Okay? It's over us right now. It started last night. Okay? Yesterday we had pretty clear skies and temperatures in the high 70s. Temperatures are that way right now. This tropical cyclone, Tim Beldwood just gave us a $20 super chat. I want to thank everybody who's supporting our channel. Tim, I just gave you an EMA sticker on your super chat. I'm giving you a thumbs up as well. Thank you, Tim. God bless you for that. Those people that want to support us, please do that. We'd appreciate it greatly. God bless you, Tim. Thanks so much. Anyway, this tropical storm has developed off the South Carolina, North Carolina coast, and it is expected to arrive in our area, they say late tonight and into Tuesday. But this storm is already over us, like I said. The storm is going to dump heavy rain Tuesday into Wednesday morning. A hazardous weather outlook is now in effect Monday through Saturday this week. Again, a hazardous weather outlook is now in effect Monday through Saturday this week. The low pressure system is off the Carolina coast and is expected to move inland across the Carolinas today through Tuesday. Heavy rain is expected today, this afternoon through Tuesday morning, with isolated flash flooding possible. Strong wind gusts are also possible. I am urging all of you that are in this area, South North Carolina and also Virginia, please be aware of this weather system. As you can see, Richmond, Virginia is also going, not Richmond, but Western Virginia is also going to be hit. Please be aware of this weather system. You are encouraged to make appropriate preparations for your family. Emergency preparedness is part of our program and our protocol on this channel. Emergency preparation is in the protocol of our channel. We talk about emergency preparedness all the time. September is the National Emergency Preparedness Month. I'm urging everybody. to be prepared. Please be prepared. Heidi Petrick is in the chat saying, be safe, Ron. Anyone else in this area? I agree. Thank you so much for that, Heidi. God bless you also. Heidi Petrick is a dear friend of ours and a loyal member of the EMA family. Again, I'm encouraging everybody, and this is very serious, even though this is not anything more than a tropical depression. This storm is going to lead heavy rain and winds, probably wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour. If you have anything on the ground, anything outside your house, make sure it's picked up and put away. That way these wind gusts will not throw these items all over your neighborhood or into your house or anyone else's dwelling. Check on your family. Check on your family, your extended family, your brothers and sisters, neighbors and friends. Now, there are more details. For more detailed information and current updates or the forecasts, go to the National Hurricane Center website. It's the NHC.gov. NHC.gov. They will have more information about the storm. And the National Weather Service, NWS.gov. Reach out to me or anyone else for needed assistance, and please stay safe. Reach out to me or anyone else for assistance, and please stay safe. For those of you that have my telephone number, you can send me messages. You can also call me if things get dangerous so I can put this up on our program. If you have access to our email, which should be on our program, rltnspdema@gmail.com. Our mods should have this up on our program as well on the chat room. Mods, please put that website here on the chat room, and also put our PayPal and Venmo locations up on the chat as well. We'd appreciate that. Those PayPal and Venmo sites or locations are just below this program today in the program description, at the top of the program description. Also, our address here in North Carolina. It's 104 North Green Street. 104 North Green Street, box 105, Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code is 28655. 28655. Please, folks, pay attention to that, and please use it. We'd really appreciate it. Now, I forgot to put this up on the scroll. Okay? I'm scrolling you that information as we speak so you can see it. Please be aware of it. We have your best interests at heart. We want you to be safe. That's why I'm talking about it. We want you to be safe. This is a tropical storm. It's not expected to be too dangerous, but it could. Now, when it rains, it pours. There will be flooding. There will be flooding. I want you to be aware of that. There will be a lot of flooding. Do not cross flooded roadways. Do not cross flooded roadways. Do not cross flooded roadways in your car or on foot. 6 inches of water could land you on your fanny and being ferried downstream in a stream or across the roadway into a gully or other incidents where you could be hurt. Don't walk across a flooded roadway or a stream, and be safe when you even are on the highway or a roadway when you're driving. 12 inches of rain flooded roadway can flood over and cause a vehicle to float. Okay? 12 inches of rain can float a car or a vehicle of any kind. You never know also when a flooded roadway can be washing out the roadway, and you will be in deep yogurt when the pavement collapses underneath you. Washouts happen all the time. Be very safe. Do not cross a flooded roadway. If there's a road collapse, the roadbed under the pavement washes away, the roadbed will collapse and you'll be stuck. Please don't do that. Deborah Reese is asking in the chat, did I make it? Yes, you're here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Anyway, please reach out to me for assistance if you need it, and reach out to those of your loved ones also. Make sure they are staying safe. If you have elderly neighbors or friends, check on them. Make sure they have needed supplies and preparations as well. Take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves. Now, I have something else I want to speak with you about. Yesterday, we had an incident in the Cascadia subduction zone. We had an incident in the Cascadia subduction zone. Let me pull up this information for you. Oh, please tell me I've got this. Hold on, folks. I want to get the picture that the screenshot that I put up yesterday. Hold on a second. I've got it here. Okay, I've got it here finally. I thought I already had it here. Right there. Okay? This is an earthquake that happened yesterday afternoon. Actually, yesterday evening. Okay? This is a 6.6 very strong earthquake. Renee Steffi just gave us a $10 super chat. Renee, thank you so much for that. God bless you. We certainly appreciate it, Renee. Thank you so much. This is a 6.6 very strong earthquake. Notice where it's at. It's on the northern part of the Cascadia subduction zone. It is just south of Queen Charlotte Island, British Columbia, Canada. Okay? This is in the northern part of the Cascadia subduction zone. Now, while the agencies do not show all the earthquakes here, there have actually been 4 other earthquakes, 4 other aftershocks after this quake. There was a 5.1 aftershock, 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. There was a 4.5 and a 4.7 aftershock as well, also 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. The agencies are not reporting the aftershocks. The aftershocks came well after this earthquake hit. This is a very strong quake. Usually after even a 5.0 quake, there are aftershocks. I spoke with Rob52. I spoke with several people that you might know last night. We were surprised that the aftershocks did not happen until later yesterday evening, hours after this earthquake. Aftershocks happen even minutes after an earthquake like this, and yet the agencies are not showing them. And I am thinking also that there were many other aftershocks that the agencies are not going to show us. I don't trust the agencies. I don't trust the agencies. I can't trust them any further than I can throw them. Now, I want to go now over to the USGS site. Now, you know I don't like the United States Geological Survey, but for this point in time, this is pretty much the only agency that will give us the information that we seek. Okay? So I put this up. I want you to see what's happening. Okay? Notice that the USGS is only showing one aftershock. One lousy aftershock. It's surprising to me. It's completely surprising to me. I'm amazed. I'm also disappointed. As I stated before, surgery, again, one of my best friends here says, I did not find that so odd, Ron, MLL. Surgery and I go way back, years, okay? Just like Don Patoka and I. We go way back years. Now, and NCWQ Becky. We love Becky too. Now, for Sergey and I not to be totally surprised by them not showing all the earthquakes, and them USGS only showing one of those earthquakes that I'm trying to bring up right now to show you. And I'm not sure why they're not allowing me to see it here. Okay, I think they've done a number to me. Hold on a second, I'll fix this. Give me a second here. Your screen's going to go black for just a minute, but it'll come right back up. But I promise you, we'll be right back. USBS does not like me. And that's okay. That's completely fine. I really don't care what they like or don't like. But if I have their map up, they take it down. They make sure that I don't see it. Okay? Here's the 4.7. There's also 4.5 and a 5.1. Not surprising they're not showing it. Okay? But at least they're showing one of the aftershocks. Go figure. Anyway, this is in the Cascadia subduction zone. Now, why am I talking about the Cascadia subduction zone? We've been talking about the Cascadia subduction zone for years now. Probably 4.5, 5 years now. We've been on the air on YouTube here 5.5 years, going on 6 next April. Now, what do we know about the Cascadia subduction zone? We are expecting a very major earthquake to happen off the coast of Seattle, Washington. Off the coast of Seattle, Washington, right here. Off the coast of Seattle, Washington, right here. Between the Cascadia subduction zone, which is an earthquake fault that runs all the way north to Queen Charlotte Island, where that earthquake happened yesterday evening. It runs all the way south to Northern California. The earthquake that we are expecting is going to be a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake right here between the Cascadia subduction zone and this earthquake fault off to the west called the Juan de Fuca Fault. The Juan de Fuca Fault is also a very dangerous fault. We've had earthquakes here before. The Juan de Fuca Fault, as you can see, is a zigzag fault zone. On the southern end of the Juan de Fuca Fault, there is another fault zone that runs from the northwest going to the southeast. That is called the Blanco Fracture Zone. The earthquake fault running from the south end of the Blanco Fracture Zone down to the south end of the Gorda Escarpment is called the Gorda Ridge. The Gorda Ridge. It runs from the northeast to the southwest. The southern part of the Gorda Ridge is connected to the Gorda Escarpment. The Gorda Escarpment hooks up with the Cascadia subduction zone off the coast of Northern California right here. That juncture is called the Triple Junction. The Triple Junction. Over here, just north of the Triple Junction on the Cascadia subduction zone, we have an earthquake today. This is a 3.0 earthquake off the coast of Ferndale, California. A 3.0 small earthquake off the coast of Ferndale, California. Just almost parallel to the east of that earthquake. There is another 2.2 minor earthquake near Ferndale, California. South of that earthquake, just off the coast of California. This is a 2.2 minor earthquake off the coast of Petrolia, California. Okay? This whole area is also part of the Cascadia Subduction Zone earthquake fault zone. Okay? It's all part of the Cascadia Subduction Zone. Further south here, this is a 1.7 minor tremor. This is southeast of Petrolia, California. Now, why am I concerned? Why are we talking about this? Those of you that have been part of this channel for a long time, you know we've been talking about this earthquake fault. Okay? For this earthquake fault to have a 6.6 magnitude earthquake just to the northern end of the Cascadia subduction zone is not entirely surprising, considering we're expecting a 10.0 earthquake, a 9.0 to a 10.0 magnitude earthquake to happen off the coast of Washington and Oregon. Now, 4 years ago, and I've told this story to you before, okay? I've told this story before. 4 years ago, December 26th, 4 years ago, we had 4 7.0 earthquakes. 4 7.0 earthquakes off the northwest coast of the Vancouver Island. 4 7.0 earthquakes off the northwest coast of Vancouver Island. I had our friend at the time, Terry Rempel, on the phone with me. He and I were watching it. We saw the 4 7.0 major earthquakes. 7.0 earthquakes are major earthquakes. We offered words of prayer, praying that the major megathrust earthquake would not hit on Christmas Eve. We didn't want to see anybody hurt or killed on Christmas Eve as a result of a major earthquake, and did not happen. Now, we are expecting that Cascadia Subduction Zone earthquake to hit. There is no doubt in my mind it's going to hit. I want to make that point perfectly clear. There is no doubt in my mind that that Cascadia megathrust earthquake is going to hit, probably within the next 5 years. Given the earthquakes that we've been having here, along the coast and also over inland, even at the volcanoes, given all the earthquakes we've talked about, we are expecting the Cascadia megathrust earthquake to happen within the next 5 years. Scientists are giving it 25 years. I don't think it's going to take that long. Why am I saying that? Because this earthquake is past due. It's 234 years past due. Okay? I want to make sure you understand that. Now, this earthquake, as I have said before, is going to hit. And it's going to affect everybody. It will affect everybody. The last time that earthquake hit, the 9.0, 10.0 earthquake, was in 1700. January 26, 1700. It was a major earthquake. The after effects after that earthquake were felt everywhere. The only people alive then were American Indians. The only people alive on the North American continent at that time were American Indians. They thought a major hawk and a whale were involved, causing that quake. They thought a great big hawk, a predatory bird, and a whale were involved, causing the earth to shake. It was not. Now, This earthquake that we are expecting has already happened 234 years ago. This earthquake is going to shake upwards of northern Alaska. Why? Because the Cascadia subduction zone is also connected to the earthquake fault going up to the Gulf of Alaska. That is why I believe, and scientists are saying, that even Alaska will feel this earthquake. Also, the Cascadia subduction zone here in Northern California connects with the San Andreas Fault at that triple junction here. The Cascadia subduction zone earthquake will trigger the San Andreas Fault. And as a result, that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake is going to be felt all the way down to northern Mexico. It will be felt all the way down to northern Mexico. Now, I think the strength of that earthquake will dissipate the further away it gets from the epicenter of the quake. I think that quake strength will dissipate as it gets further away from the quake. However, I believe it will still be quite strong. Possibly as strong as a 6.0 very strong quake, all the way down to San Diego and northern Mexico. What is going to happen? What is going to happen when the strength of that earthquake hits San Francisco Bay and the surrounding communities? What is going to happen? What is going to happen when it gets down here to the Monterey Bay area and points south? What is going to happen when it gets over here just east of Santa Barbara? The ground is going to shake violently. The ground is going to shake violently. What is going to happen when that shaking hits Los Angeles? The San Andreas Fault is east of Los Angeles. I believe it's going to trigger the other faults in the Los Angeles basin, and there will be massive destruction in the area of Los Angeles as well. By the way, over here in Malibu is still shaking. Malibu is still shaking. You see the swarm of earthquakes that are happening here? USGS tried to pass the earthquake last week here in Malibu off as a 4.5 earthquake. It was at least a 5.4, 5.6 earthquake, as we have said in our program last week talking about this earthquake. This was not a 4.5 earthquake by any stretch of the imagination. USGS lied about this earthquake. They lied about this earthquake. There would not be aftershocks today this strong if that earthquake had been a 4.5. This is a 2.8 earthquake here. This is a 2.3. This is a 1.7 tremor. This is a 3.7 small earthquake, aftershock. This is a 1.4 tremor. This is a 1.5 tremor. This is a 1.5 tremor as well. 3.7 aftershock. That would not have happened if that earthquake had actually been a 4.5. We would not be seeing aftershocks today. USGS lied about this earthquake again. It's not the first time. Now, those of you that are in the chat room or watching or listening to this program, Renee Seppi is one of my mods here on this chat. Renee Seppi and I are very good friends. She's in the hospital. She went in the hospital and had surgery on her foot and leg. She's out of the hospital. She's being laid up and may go home Wednesday of this week. We wish Renee Steffi the best of God's gifts. May you heal well. May you go home very soon. God bless you, Renee. We appreciate you so much. We love Renee. She's a good lady. She's a great lady. Okay? But anyway, getting back to the Cascadia earthquake. The effects of that earthquake are going to be felt across Southern California, and they probably will trigger all of the faults across the LA basin. Okay? Today, south of Los Angeles, Good Hope, California, a 1.6 tremor just now. North of the earthquakes in Malibu, California, there is a 1.7 tremor that just happened near Piru, California, Pires, California, Piru, California. 1.7 tremor. Okay? That, folks, is off the Pine Mountain Fault. Off the Pine Mountain Fault here in that area. Now again, the Cascadia earthquake is going to be felt all the way down here. The San Andreas Fault passes LA to the east, and also passes San Diego also to the east. The San Andreas Fault comes down here into the Imperial Valley in California. It runs just east of the Salton Sea. Okay? You see it here. This area of the Imperial Valley is going to be shaken like never seen before. In 2010, down here near the U.S.-Mexican border, we had a 7.1 earthquake right here. We had a 7.1 earthquake right here. This is Mexicali and Calexico. Mexicali on the southern part of the border and Calexico on the north part of the border. In 2010, April 3rd, Sunday, Easter Sunday, 2010, we had a 7.1 earthquake here. Allegedly a 7.1 major earthquake. Scientists are now saying, geologists and scientists are now saying that that may have been an 8.0. This happened in Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico. Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico. We are expecting this same earthquake to happen again. We're expecting a major earthquake to happen again down here anyway. But look at the population of this area. It's heavily populated. It's heavily populated. When that 7.1 earthquake hit, this area was devastated on both sides of the border. The earthquake was felt all the way up into Los Angeles, all the way out to Arizona. Tucson and Phoenix felt that earthquake. Now, why is this important? Because I'm going to back out and show you where this earthquake fault is. This 1.5 earthquake down here in Mexicali, Mexico, happened on the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault, guys. Now, while the United States Geological Survey is only showing 2 earthquakes here today, one up here in Calipatria. Let me show you this earthquake here. This is a 1.3. These are just tremors. There are over 300 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley today. Over 300 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley today. And the USGS is only saying that there are 283 earthquakes worldwide. Really? Prove it, USGS. Prove it. Because I have seismographs that prove otherwise. There are over 300 earthquakes here every day in the Imperial Valley here in Imperial, California. Every day. Can you imagine what's going to happen when the Cascadia megathrust earthquake happens? It's going to shake everything all the way down to northern Mexico. And what some people don't realize, what some people may not realize, is that this Cascadia megathrust earthquake is going to be felt across the entire continent. Canada and the United States included. This is going to be a very powerful earthquake. It's going to be felt all the way across the East Coast to Nova Scotia, New York City, Washington, D.C., Morganton, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, and Florida. But what I haven't told you yet, what I have not told you yet, and I've said this on many other programs, the Cascadia megathrust earthquake is going to happen. The last time it happened, 30 minutes after the earthquake happened, there was a massive tsunami wave. 30 minutes after it happened, there was a massive tsunami wave. That tsunami wave made its way over to Japan. That tsunami wave made its way over to Japan, where the people in Japan kept immaculate records. They noted the date and time that that tsunami happened. The tsunami from that Cascadia earthquake off the coast of Seattle caused a massive tsunami wave to roll in Japan, causing a lot of damage. The Japanese people kept immaculate records, noting the date that it happened. Now, who else kept records? Yes, there were records kept by the American Indians. January 26, 1700. That huge tsunami wave is not going to affect just Japan. That tsunami wave is not going to just affect Japan. That tsunami wave is going to affect all of Canada and Alaska, all of the entire west coast of North America. It's going to affect the entire west coast of North America. That tsunami wave, folks, is going to be anywhere from 50 to 150 feet high. 50 to 150 foot high. What it's going to do is within 15 minutes after the earthquake, you're going to see massive amounts of water leave the shoreline of North America. Massive amounts of water are going to leave the shoreline of North America, leaving the beaches dry. Leaving the beaches dry. Then within 20 to 30 minutes after the earthquake, the water is going to be rolling back onto the beaches, onto the land. The massive tsunami wave is going to be, like I said, at least 50 to 150 feet high, up and down the entire coast of North America, including Alaska. It's going to inundate the land. It's going to inundate the landmass, probably up to 20 miles away. A 20-mile-long tsunami. It's not just going to be one wave, it's going to be multiple waves. If you've ever been out to sea or at the beaches, you've seen wave after wave continue to hit the beaches. That is exactly what's going to happen. There will be multiple tsunami waves. Multiple tsunami waves. So folks, this is going to be a very dangerous earthquake. Okay? A very dangerous earthquake. And yet, we're still having major earthquakes up and down the entire Cascadia subduction zone, all the way down to Northern California. 3 years ago, there was a 6.9 earthquake just off the coast of Northern California right here. A 6.9 earthquake. This area shook like a leaf. That earthquake was off the coast and it still killed 2 people, one in Rio Dell and the other in Ferndale, California. Imagine what's going to happen when we have that huge earthquake up here off the coast of Seattle, Washington. That's going to happen. it's going to happen. And again, that tsunami wave is going to reach all over the entire Pacific Basin. All over the entire Pacific Basin. As you can see, there are earthquakes here in the Pacific here. Over here to the southwest, this is over on the Mariana Trench, on the Mariana earthquake fault, as you can see here. This is a 6.3 very strong earthquake. 6.0 to 6.9 are considered to be very strong earthquakes. This is a 6.3 happening here in the Mariana Trench, 265 kilometers north of Saipan, northern Mariana Islands. We've also had an aftershock. This aftershock is a 4.6. Notice it happened almost immediately after this earthquake. Almost immediately after this earthquake. This earthquake happened at 23:47, 11:47 Eastern Time yesterday evening. This aftershock happened then. The major earthquake happened at actually that was a foreshock. Actually, this earthquake was a foreshock to that 6.3. This 4.6 was a foreshock happening last night. This is a major earthquake, a 6.3 very strong earthquake. Okay, so we had a foreshock and then this earthquake here. I fully expect there to be aftershocks. I believe there already has. My wife got woken up this morning by earthquake tracker telling us earthquakes were happening. Multiple earthquakes have happened here, and USGS is only showing this earthquake. Go figure. Southern Japan here. They had a 5.5 earthquake off of Kyushu, Japan. A 5.5 very large earthquake. 5.5 to 5.9 are considered to be very large earthquakes, regardless of what USGS has them at. USGS are calling these moderate earthquakes. They're not. They are large earthquakes and they cause a lot of damage. Very large damage after these earthquakes. This is just off the coast of Japan here. Nichinan, Nichinan, Japan. Okay, a 5.5 earthquake. That happened at 10:13 a.m. Eastern Time today. This is a 4.7. This happened at 10:25 a.m. today. Again, 10 kilometers deep. 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. 10:25 aftershock. This happened at 10:13. Okay? But there's also a very large earthquake we want to talk about. The earth has been shaking out here in Romania also. My wife and I were woken up early this morning by this quake. This was a large earthquake, 5.2 large earthquake. 133 kilometers deep. Okay? 6 kilometers, approximately 3 miles north of Casoca, Romania. Casoca, Romania. C-A-S-O-C-A, Romania. There have been aftershocks because we've been hearing earthquake tracker talking about them all morning long. My wife said, why is it so loud? Why is it so loud? Why is it going off like this? Aftershocks. Aftershocks. And look, USGS is not showing any earthquakes at all. Any earthquakes at all except that Romanian earthquake. There are earthquakes all over. There are 38 earthquakes in Italy there. 38 earthquakes in Italy. There's a couple of minor earthquakes over in France. There's some minor earthquakes over in northern Italy as well. There's several earthquakes in Spain over here. Why are they not showing them? Inquiring minds want to know. Over here in Greece. There are earthquakes here in Greece. They're not showing them. Why not? Earthquakes all over Turkey. Why are they not showing them? USGS is hiding seismic information. They're hiding it, not wanting anybody to know. Over here in South America today, over here in the Andes Mountains, this is the border of Chile and Argentina. A border area between Chile and Argentina, Andes Mountains, the highest mountain range in South America. This is a 4.3 earthquake here, 51 kilometers west-northwest of San Antonio de los Cobres, Argentina. Fancy that. Then further to the northwest, over here in the foothills of the Andes Mountains, Calama, Chile. Antofagasta, Calama, Chile here. A 4.2 earthquake. 4.2 moderate earthquake. This earthquake is 136 kilometers deep. But that's not all, folks. There's more. There's 23 earthquakes here in South America. Why are they not showing them? The majority of earthquakes are in central and northern Chile. There's other earthquakes also in Peru and Colombia. Why are they not showing them? Why are they not showing them? Heidi Petrick just gave us a $5 super chat. Thank you, Heidi. God bless you for that. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. There's also an earthquake over here off the coast of El Salvador. Folks, for those of you that don't know this area is the Cocos Plate. The Cocos Plate. Now, folks, there's something you need to know about. The Cocos Plate is also connected to what? The San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault comes out of California here, goes all the way through northern Mexico, through the Gulf of California and down here to southern Mexico. The Cocos Plate is connected to the San Andreas Fault. So this 4.2 moderate earthquake off the coast of El Salvador today could be worse. It's a 4.2 moderate earthquake off the coast of El Salvador, 52 kilometers deep on the Cocos Plate. Now, this is not all. USGS is hiding earthquakes here as well. Over here in Costa Rica and Panama, 5 earthquakes. 5 earthquakes. There are 3s, small earthquakes, 3.2, 3.5, 3.7 earthquakes. Costa Rica. Going up here into El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Guatemala, more earthquakes. 4.0 earthquakes, 4.2, 4.5. Going into southern Mexico between Guatemala down here to the south, southern Mexico reaching up to Puerto Vallarta, way up here. This whole stretch of land here, this whole stretch of land has 28 earthquakes. 28 earthquakes, ranging from 3.0 on up to 4.7. 3.0 up to 4.7 earthquakes. We are expecting a 5.0 large earthquake in southern Mexico. A 5.0 earthquake in southern Mexico. Now, they're not showing a volcano here, yet there's a volcano. There happens to be Popocatépetl volcano right here. Popocatépetl volcano is erupting. A 20,000 foot eruption today. A 20,000 foot eruption today. How about that? Surgery says he can't even say that word, let alone spell it. I can't spell it either. I can say it, but I can't spell it. Again, surgery is one of my best friends. I'm real. But I've given you a kind of a hint of what's going on. There are also earthquakes over here in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, over here in Puerto Rico, it's a different story. Okay? Now, why are we having earthquakes around the globe like we're having? Very strong sixes. 6.6 off of Queens Charlotte Island. Another 6.3 off the coast of, or 5.3 off the coast of Japan, and a 6.3 in the Mariana Island Trench. Why? Why are we having these very large earthquakes? Very strong earthquakes? Because, folks, we are in the middle of a huge CME, a coronal mass ejection from the sun. And yes, I will be talking about Puerto Rico in just a second. Coronal mass ejections from the sun. We presently have a sunspot Earth facing, a very large sunspot that is like 30 Earths wide, 30 Earths long. This sunspot is let off X-class flares. X4, X-class 4, X-class 3 flares, M-class flares, S-class and R-class flares, C-class flares, coronal mass ejections. What does that do? What does that do? I will come back to this Puerto Rico area in just a second. I'm going to take the map down for just a minute. I want you to see what I'm going to show you. Okay? When these flares hit off, it sends plasma radiation out from the sun. Plasma radiation out from the sun. X-class radiation hits the Earth first, right after the flare lights off from the sun. The coronal mass ejections arrive with plasma radiation from the sun within 2 to 3 days. Earth has been getting hit all weekend and will continue getting hit today and tomorrow from these very same flares and the plasma radiation. The plasma radiation hits the Earth. It heats up the plates. It heats up the earthquake faults. Earthquake faults are lined up like this, usually in a subduction zone fashion like this. The plates are lined up just like this. All that's holding those plates together are friction, biological material, sand, dirt, rocks, gravel. When that plasma radiation hits the Earth, it heats up all that biological material. That biological material turns into greasy, oily substance that allows the plates to move like this. That is why we're seeing these very strong 6s hit and 5s hit the Earth today and yesterday. Okay? The plates have heated up as a result of those flares heating up the plates, causing Earth to move like this. That's what's going on. Okay? That's what's going on. Now let's go back to the USGS map here one more time. Okay? I want you to see this. Let me take my smiling mug off. Now we're back here in Puerto Rico. Southwestern Puerto Rico, folks. Why are we having earthquakes here? Okay? Yes, this is an extended program here. I wanted to make sure I got this information out. Now, Dan Weir is here in the chat saying we're going to have a planetary alignment tomorrow as well. Planetary alignments are when the Earth lines up with other planets and also the moon. When the Earth lines up with planets and the moon, it also causes electromagnetic radiation, which also heats up the plates and also causes earthquakes. But what happened here in southwestern Puerto Rico? Let's zoom in here because I want to show you this. Today, a 3.1 earthquake near Magas Arriba, Puerto Rico. Magas Arriba, Puerto Rico. Also here, we have another 3.0 earthquake here. Why are we having earthquakes here in southern Puerto Rico? December 26th and December 28th, 4 years ago. December 26th and December 28th, 2019. We had two major 8.0 and 8.4 earthquakes hit southern Puerto Rico right here. Two major 8.0 and 8.4 earthquakes, December 26th and December 28th. These were man-made earthquakes. Man-made earthquakes, guys. Man-made earthquakes. Now I'm going to show you in a minute why these earthquakes happened. But I'm not finished here talking about these earthquakes quite yet. Okay? Notice the population centers here. Notice the population centers here. There was major damage. There were people killed during those major earthquakes. Major damage and major earthquakes, okay? People killed. On December 28th with the 8.4 earthquake, right here along the coastline here in Puerto Rico, there was a huge sandstone arch on the beach. A huge sandstone arch on the beach. Similar to the sandstone arches you would see in Arches National Park, Utah. When that 8.4 earthquake hit here, it destroyed the sandstone arch here. A monument, a national monument destroyed by a man-made earthquake. Incredible. Incredible. People killed, property damage, people could not even live in their houses for weeks. Some people had to rebuild their houses. Businesses were also destroyed. People lost income because of two man-made earthquakes. Man-made earthquakes. Let me leave these earthquakes here and talk about an earthquake off the southwestern shores of Puerto Rico here. This is a 3.7. 85 kilometers north-northwest of San Antonio, Puerto Rico. This is also the same location of a 6.3 earthquake back in 2020. At the same time that happened, Hurricane Maria hit the southern shores of Puerto Rico. A 6.3 earthquake off the northwestern side of Puerto Rico here, and today we have a 3.7 aftershock. Up here, guess what? This is also a major earthquake fault. This is a 3.7 earthquake here. This earthquake fault originates over here. Okay? It comes all the way over here north of the Dominican Republic. It skirts Cuba here, the southern part of Cuba. It goes all the way through the Caribbean here. It goes over here into Guatemala. Incredible. That earthquake fault brings earthquakes over here to Cuba, to the Dominican Republic, and also over here to this area north of Puerto Rico. That's what happened here. That's why we have this earthquake here, 3.7, and this 3.7 here. Further east here, this is north of the U.S. British Virgin Islands. This is a 4.0 earthquake here, a moderate 4.0. The other 3.7s were small earthquakes. This is a moderate 4.0. Interesting, huh? This was far enough offshore that it did not affect Puerto Rico or affect the U.S. British Virgin Islands. Okay? Now, getting back here to southern Puerto Rico. These are aftershocks of 8.0 and 8.4 earthquakes that happened 4 years ago. We have aftershocks every day here for the past 4 years. Aftershocks from these very strong earthquakes can happen for years and years to come. We may see earthquakes here for a very long time. A very, very long time. Now, let me take down this map. I'm going to back out here to this huge Earth map here. Now, I'm going to bring up my mug here. I'm going to bring up our earthquake or EMA banner here. I'm going to take down the USGS map here. Now, there is an organization that caused those earthquakes. NCWQ, I'll talk about that explosion in just a minute. Yes, it's a major incident. This organization right here caused those earthquakes in Puerto Rico. Please do not put this name in the chat. I'm not mentioning this facility by name, but this is what happened. 3 different facilities, one in Norway, one in Russia, and one in northwestern Australia, lit up. They triangulated southern Puerto Rico and caused those 8.0 and 8.4 earthquakes to happen. Do not put that name in my chat ever. Okay? But that's what happened. And I proved it. I still have the evidence to prove it. Now, while YouTube has taken those programs off the air, because they were on my previous YouTube channel, because YouTube didn't like what I was saying. They took my YouTube channel down 1.5 years ago. I came back a day later. I'm sorry, not a day later, a week later. I'm back, still talking about earthquakes and everything else. But folks, I still have that information to prove to everyone what happened there in Puerto Rico. It's insane. It's insane. Now, Dan Weir is saying Canada and British Columbia having that 6.5 earthquake off the coast of Queen Charlotte Island in British Columbia, that's just a precursor. It's a precursor to that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. Fact. Fact. I think I've proven that today. Okay? But there's something else I need to talk to you about. Something else I need to talk to you about. Now, I've just been advised that there's been a major explosion in Houston. A major explosion in Houston. A major oil and gas pipeline explosion, a massive blaze in Houston. Now, I'm going to try to pull up that information. The explosion is in Lawport, Texas. Just a second. I'm trying to get the picture here so you can see it. This is where the major pipeline explosion is, just outside Houston. Okay? A massive pipeline explosion. Now, it's a big deal. Okay? Evacuations have been ordered after this explosion happened. Just a second, I'm going to show you another picture here. This is what it looks like from that aerial shot, probably a helicopter here. I'm going to show you a street view now. Right there. Yes, there's a video, and later today I will show you the video. But a major pipeline explosion over in Houston. Oil and gas refinery there. A big deal. Now, this happened about 10 a.m. this morning. An evacuation order has been issued in LaPorte, Texas, after that burst in the city of Texas. Dramatic images captured the scene, showing an extremely large jet of fire burning high in the sky, blanketing the area in thick black smoke. LaPorte City Secretary Lee Woodward said that they don't know yet what flows through the pipeline or how it will be shut down. They're attempting to shut down as we speak. Let me show you another picture. This is huge. This is huge, guys. According to reporters, there's also a power outage in the area. Okay, just a second. I don't know why that picture didn't show up. It will. I don't know why. Okay, it may now. This is what that explosion looked like, and you can see the flames reaching high up in the sky and black acrid smoke coming from the oil refinery there. It's huge. It's huge. Now, according to reporters, there are power outages there, and shelter-in-place orders are also issued for those nearby. The fire is happening at Centerpoint-owned property. Centerpoint Corporation allegedly owns the property. The company said in a statement, Centerpoint Energy is monitoring the incident on Spencer Highway in LaPorte, Texas, which is unrelated to the company's natural gas operations or equipment. They said, we are cooperating with first responders, putting safety first. The public should be able to avoid this area until further notice from the emergency officials. When it is safe to do so, our electric crews will go into the area to assess the damage to our transmission and distribution power lines, poles, and equipment, and begin restoring power to affected customers as safely and quickly as we possibly can. Due to the fire, Spencer Highway has been closed in both directions and neighboring roads have been blocked to traffic. In a post to social media, the agency is saying that the shelter in place is in order and no fires on campus at SJC Community College campus. No fires on campus. Emergency responders are on site and the shelter in place order will remain in effect for the San Jacinto College Central Campus until the all clear is provided. It's massive, guys. There are pictures that are unreal here. In fact, let me see if I can get a picture here for you. This is another picture here that will blow your mind. Let me get this picture here. This is unreal. This is totally unreal. Wait till you see this. Yes, I will have more on this later tonight as well, but I want to show you this last picture here. Hold on a second. I don't mean to be putting you guys off or have error here that you're not seeing here. I'm hoping I've got this here. It's not showing up. Doggone it here. Okay, let's see if we can do this again here. Look at this, guys. Look at this. A vehicle over in that area completely burned out. You can see the fire here, possibly coming from a pump. That's what it looks like. It's coming from a pump and jack over in this area. They say they don't know whether they don't think it's oil and gas or natural gas, but it looks to me like it is. Okay? It's coming right out from that oil and gas facility there. Okay? That's a picture from ABC News, by the way. But there's other pictures here as well, and I'll talk to you about those later. Do you have any other thoughts or ideas or questions for me right now? Yeah, Heidi says convenient, yeah. Yeah, convenient to get people's eyes and ears away from what happened in Florida. And Becky's saying here in the chat, saying that the grass across the street is also on fire. Wouldn't surprise me. With the intense heat of a fire like this, that doesn't surprise me at all. No, I don't want to get banned here. Ray Spur's saying, you never talk about the equipment in Antarctica that causes earthquakes. I can't. I can't, Ray. I wish I could. If you want to start up a YouTube channel, you're welcome to. Okay, you're welcome to. Yes, I believe that agency I told you about just a few minutes ago, this organization right here is part of it. Okay, because they do have a facility in Antarctica. I believe they are part of it. Okay, I talked about earthquakes in Antarctica before, and I'll talk about them again. They've had major earthquakes in Antarctica as well. Okay. Anyway, guys, do you have any questions for me? Surgery says, wow, that's hot. I agree. That's probably several thousand degrees Fahrenheit. Arnold Smith says, it's all good, Ron. It's not like I have to cancel this flight to Mars. Hey, Arnold, if you're going to Mars too, book me on the same flight. I want to go with you. No problem. No problem at all. Does anyone have any questions about anything I've said? Okay? The major things I wanted to talk about was President Trump and his shooting, attempted assassination again yesterday. I don't think it's over. Okay? Dan Bongino said 2 weeks ago that he didn't believe that there wouldn't be another shooting going on, and there has been. There may be more coming. There may be more coming. Until Trump gets elected, even after he gets elected, okay, a lot of things could happen. They don't want Trump to be in office. Even if he does get elected, they may still try to take him out. Okay? They can try to take him out at his inauguration. Usually the inauguration is a huge outdoor hullabaloo. Thousands of people seeing the President of the United States being sworn in. Somebody can try to do something like that. I hope not. Heidi Patrick is asking, any casualties? I don't see anyone talking about casualties from this explosion here in Texas right now. Let me scroll down here just a second. Multiple agencies are already on the scene to handle the blaze at the explosion site. Teams are working on it from several angles. Now, Deer Park Office of Emergency Management. You need to understand what that is, okay? It's like an agency like mine, okay? I am an emergency manager. Every city and town should have an emergency management office. The Deer Park Office of Emergency Management there in Texas has put together a unified command. A unified command only means that not only is the emergency management office involved, but other agencies have also been brought in. Other agencies have been brought in to tackle the problem. Fire agencies, police, fire, paramedics, sheriff's deputies, and even ATF. Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and BOMBS. They handle it all. Until they decide what happened, ATF is involved. I can almost guarantee it. And I will almost guarantee also that the FBI is also involved. Okay? All these agencies combined come into what they call a unified command. A command structure that can be controlled from the inside so it runs most effectively. So every agency and every person that are working on that explosion are unified in purpose and unified to put out the fire and to assess the damages. That's what happens. I've been involved in I don't know how many unified commands in the past. I've also helped set up unified commands in the past as well. Okay? I'm over here watching the chat right now. Yeah, they keep hitting commercials on my programs, guys, because YouTube wants to get paid, so they keep putting these stupid commercials up. Now, Arnold Smith is asking, did the shooter get some rounds off before the Secret Service fired on? I understand, it's my understanding that yes, the shooter did get 2 rounds off, and 2 more rounds were fired by the Secret Service. None hit the shooter. None of the rounds from the Secret Service hit the shooter, which is surprising, because the Secret Service has expert marksmen. Expert marksmen that are good for thousands of feet, thousands of yards away. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't get off a shot that would have hit the shooter. Okay? Also, besides the Unified Command, there's been a mobile command post, which is typical on any scene, no matter what it is, but a mobile command post has been also set up at East Boulevard and Spencer Highway there in LaPorte, Texas. And pollution control. The EPA is also involved here, so I believe the EPA is probably already in the Unified Command. If not, they will be before it's all said and done. So does anybody have any questions about anything we said today? I wanted to make sure you have this information because I believe it's very important. Unreal. Unreal. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you all being here. I've given you a thorough explanation from about everything that's happened in the past 24 hours and all the earthquakes as well. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate it. Please, folks, before you leave today, give us a thumbs up. Thumbs up, and the amount of time you spend here on this program is used as an analytical factor for YouTube to determine whether they're going to let anybody else see this program or not. So, folks, I hope you stayed here to the end of the program. I would very much appreciate it. Now, folks, I will be back here at 6 o'clock to give you a wrap-up of what we talked about today. I will take any questions as well. Please come back to 6 o'clock this evening with any questions. I will be happy to take your questions tonight. I will be talking about emergency preparedness specifically tonight. I want to make sure everybody gets it. I want to make sure that everybody's aboard with what's going on. Folks, I love you. I care about you. That's why we're here. We want to pass on emergency information as we get it, and that's exactly what we've done today. God bless you guys. We appreciate you. May you have a good rest of the day. We will be back on the air in approximately 3 hours and 20 minutes from now. God be with you until we meet again. We will see you on the other side. Have a great one, guys. See you soon. God bless.